If you think you can make a woman lead this relationship, you do not know what you're saying. It will take you both down. In a relationship, there can only be one leader. It has to be the man, 100% of the time, all the time. Do you really have the white privilege, the male toxic masculinity privilege, white male privilege? Do you really have that? I don't even care if you're white or black, Jewish, red, white. I'm friends with everyone. That's not the point. But that's who built it. It was built in the West. Other systems were competing, but this is the one that prevailed. And now you want to all tear it down in one single generation? What took 2,000 years to build? All the bloodshed that we needed to go through to make that happen. You want to throw it all away? And nature abhors a vacuum even in your private relationships. So if you don't have what makes a man, if you don't have masculine qualities, which are leadership, vision, purpose, strength, core strength, who is going to run your relationship? We all know what happens when the captain abdicates, when the captain leaves the bridge. That relationship made of man and woman will crash. If you think you can make a woman lead this relationship, you do not know what you're saying. It will take you both down. And if you don't take your masculine strength, authentic power, not tyrannical power, not oppression of women, we're not talking about that. We're talking about leadership. I distinguish very seriously between dominance. I'm very, very dominant. Some say I can't be domineering too, but typically I'm more dominant. Oh, that's the same thing. That's not at all. It's the exact opposite. It's diametrically opposed opposite. Dominance is I give. I have power and I give power. I empower you to do the same. Now that's like King Arthur. That's the once and future king, the justified king, justified authentic power. And that kind of power has a justification. It doesn't need to justify itself or explain itself, but it does have a mandate. It is for the betterment of the people. King Arthur, the just king. Contrast that with weakness, absence of power. That's when you get weak people. All you need to do is watch Gladiator. Look at authentic power that gives, Russell Crowe. And then look at the Emperor's Son. That's like a Caligula kind of weak power. That's domineering. That wants to have losers. They can't win unless you lose. That's not win-win. Authentic power, dominance, is win-win in the true sense of the word. Tyrannical power, external power, is the opposite. It's domineering, it's dominating, and you have to lose for me to win. Not a good deal. That's what we saw under Stalin, Hitler, Mao Zedong, and Pol Pot. And other tyrants, Nero. That's what we see in Iran. That's what we see in a lot of oppressive medieval cultures like Saudi Arabia that have now just about made the leap into the 16th century by granting women the right to drive. The privilege, I'm sorry. There's no rights in Saudi Arabia. In America, you have rights. In Europe, you have privileges. And in the third world, you have nothing. So who's really the evil men, toxic masculinity? If you don't take that power, if you don't own it, if you abdicate your throne in a relationship, there can only be one leader. It has to be the man, 100% of the time, all the time. Women do their own leading in a subtle way. My dad was one of the top 100 Fortune 100 captains of industry, a very powerful man, very powerful. Much more powerful than most of these clowns you see up there now. But his woman, my mother, was a very soft-spoken and yet very determined woman. She had a very subtle way. She never challenged him directly, ever. I never saw them fight. In all the decades they were together, I never saw them fight once. Never. There was no question about who was in charge. My mom said, look, it's very simple. Your dad is in charge. He knows what he's doing. He's a leader. As you hopefully will be one day, you little pussy. And she didn't say it, but that's what you thought. I could read her thoughts. And I was a pussy at the time. I didn't appreciate it. I thought, oh, but I want to be liked by women. I want women. I'm cute, and I want women to like me for who I am. A little soy boy, twat that I was, before I finally found initiation into manhood. We'll talk about that in a minute. But she said, look, I'm taking all the crap that your dad needs to focus on his leadership. He's a captain of industry. He's dealing not in millions, but in billions of dollars. You know, if he messes up, 10,000 people will lose their job tomorrow. That's a lot of responsibility. With that kind of power comes responsibility. And no, it's not Batman or Spider-Man who said that, it's Voltaire. Check your sources and your history. With great power comes great responsibility. Yes, that's true power. External power has no responsibility. It just takes and takes and takes. And that's what you see in a lot of relationships. The king has abdicated. To have a 50-50 relationship with a woman. It's called she owns you, dumbass. That's what it means if you give a woman even 1% control in a relationship.